Hey guys, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and I made a little oopsie when filming the first part of this video. So as you can tell from the title, etc., I decided to play a TBR game and let that determine books that I would buy. I've done this a couple times before and really enjoyed it. This time I used Jade's TBR Pursuit to pick prompts, and I rolled 6 times to fill up the little pie piece. So I had 6 prompts, and the deal was I had to buy at least 3 of the books, of the prompts that I rolled. You guys know me, I bought all of them. So fast forward to after I filmed the rolling part, I uploaded the footage onto my computer, and somehow or another it got deleted and I can't find it anywhere. So instead of showing the rolls, to get this, we're gonna go to my bullet journal where I wrote this down. So roll number 1, we got a middle grade with no magic. Roll number 2, a young adult, any genre, with a creature on the cover. 3, a fantasy of any age with a random letter generator, and we got the letter T, and I was not going to let that word "the" count for that. 4, a middle grade supernatural. 5, realistic of any age, 200 to 400 pages. And 6, an adult with romance, at least part of the story. So next up, you're going to see some footage from Barnes & Noble and then see what I got. So keep watching to find out what books I bought based on this TBR game. Next time, I'll do better and not delete the footage. Let's hope. Hello. We've just been in Barnes & Noble and I got some books. I'm gonna wait till I'm in a better place to show you my haul. I am gonna head into Target now and get a couple of last minute things for Christmas, and then I'm gonna be heading up to my parents' house, and when I get there, no one should be home, so I'll be able to sit down and show you my haul. And that good thing, I'm actually kind of shocked that I remember to bring my camera into Barnes & Noble. I walked in and then turned back around because I had left my camera sitting in the front seat. So I got it, we filmed some stuff in there, I picked out some books, and now it's time for Target. I also kind of am craving some like Starbucks hot chocolate, so maybe I'll see if this Target has a Starbucks and seek some out. I'm not gonna take my camera into Target just because it's like paper plates and that kind of things that I have to buy, so nothing too exciting, but I'll see you shortly with a haul, the haul portion of the video. Yeah, I know words. Hey there, I am now in a place where I can sit down and show you my haul. So I'm gonna back this up to tell you a little story. Last week sometime I was in class and the principal walked in and handed me a Christmas bonus check, and the kids in that particular class period, they're very nosy. And they're, what is it? What did you get? What did you get? And I didn't tell them the amount, but I did tell them, well, I'm very, very lucky. The school board decided to give Christmas bonuses to the teachers and the janitors and the paras and everybody that works here. And immediately they're like, are you gonna spend all of yours on books? And I said, no. And one girl who just loves books so much, she goes, but you're gonna spend some of it on books, right? Some of it? At least half? I said, you know what, I will spend some. I've got a plan to go book shopping and stuff, which was for this particular video that I'm filming right now. They didn't know it was for a video, but anyway, when I was in the store, I had the 6 prompts and I had to get at least 3 of them. I ended up filling all 6 prompts. Is anyone surprised? No. And then I bought extra books because that girl's voice kept replaying in my mind, and I thought, aw, I really should treat myself because I shouldn't spend all of my bonus on like gifts for other people and stuff, right? And I don't know. I know that I'm very, very lucky to have a bonus. Not everyone is that lucky to get something like that, so I'm trying to use some of it to help other people. But anyway, let's talk about the prompts from the TBR game. So the first one was a middle grade with no magic. I had a book kind of in the back of my mind for this one, but they didn't have it in stock. So there were 3 prompts that I had books that I thought, oh, maybe that one would fit, and none of those particular books were there. But I did find this one. So middle grade, no magic. I Can Make This Promise. This is by Christine Day, and it has won the American Indian Library Association Youth Literature Award. So that's kind of cool. This says, Edie has always known that she is Native American. She also knows that her mom was adopted by a white couple and has no connection to her birth family. So even though Edie is curious to learn about her heritage, she realizes her mom doesn't have any answers. Until the day when she and her friends discover a box hidden in the attic, a box full of letters signed Love Edith, and photos of a woman who looks just like Edie. Could this woman who shares her name belong to the Native family that Edie never knew about? But if her mom and dad have kept the secret from her all her life, how can she trust them to tell her the truth now? Second prompt was a YA with a creature on the cover, and I ended up picking this book here, A Multitude of Dreams by Mariah Rutherford. It is a Barnes & Noble YA book club pick. That doesn't guarantee it's going to be good, but, you know, it's a point in its favor. This one sounds quite dark. So it says, Princess Imogen of Goslin had lived in sheltered life for 3 years at the boarded up castle. She and the rest of its inhabitants safe from the bloody Mori Roja plague that's ravaged the kingdom. But Princess Imogen has a secret, and as King Stuart descends further into madness, it is at great risk of being revealed. Rations dwindle each day, and unhappy murmurings threaten to crack the facade of the years-long charade being played within castle walls. I am having a hard time pronouncing things. I am so sorry. Nico Mott once enjoyed a comfortable life of status, but the plague took everyone and everything from him. If not for the generosity of a nearby lord, Nico may not have survived the aftermath of the plague. But does owing Lord Crane his life mean he owes him his silence? When Lord Crane sends Nico to search for more plague survivors in the castle, Nico collides with a princess who wants to break out. They will each have to navigate the web of lies they've woven, even if they're going to survive the nightmares ahead. So the third one was a fantasy of any age range using a random letter generator, and we got the letter T. And I said that I wouldn't use T I wouldn't count the word the as the T. I didn't think it would be as tricky as it was. So I started, I happened to be in the adult fantasy section, and I was looking, and there were 1 or 2 titles that had T words in them, but they just didn't look all that interesting. So I went to the YA section and found a couple, and I ended up choosing a really chunky one. This is Curious Tides by Pascal Lascelles. Now I think there's a sequel to this, which I saw on the new releases table or something like that, but I didn't pick it up because I thought I'm gonna read this first and see if I even want the sequel, just not go crazy. So this blurb says, Emery might be a student at the prestigious Aldrin College for Lunar Magics, but her healing abilities have always been mediocre at best, until a treacherous night in Dovermere Sea Caves kills a group of her classmates and leaves her as the only survivor. Now Emery is plagued by the strange, impossible powers that no healer should possess. Powers that would ruin her life if the wrong person were to discover them. Now I'm going to pause here for a second. This says she's at a college. Now, depending on where the author's from and stuff, that could change like what age what college means. Like in UK, college is typically younger than what college age is here in the US. So I'm going to take a quick peek. It says she's from Canada. I don't honestly know. So this almost feels like it could be wandering into the new adults category, and on the dust jacket, it does say recommended for ages 14 and up, so I will definitely read this before I let my students read it, because my oldest students are 14 that I currently teach. Just want to be careful. But let's continue with the synopsis. So she's got powers that could ruin her life if the wrong person were to discover them. To gain control of these new abilities, Emery enlists the help of the school's most reclusive student, Baz, a boy already well-versed in the deadly nature of darker magic, whose sister happened to be one of the drowned students and Emery's best friend. Determined to find the truth behind the drownings and cult-like secret society she's convinced her classmates were involved in, Emery's faced with even more questions when the supposedly drowned students start washing ashore alive, only for each to immediately die a horrible magical death. And Emery is not the only one seeking answers. When her new magic captures society's attention, she finds herself drawn into their world of privilege and power, all while wondering if the truth she's searching for might lead her right back to Dovermere to face the fate she was never meant to escape. Definitely seems like dark academia and an interesting read. The fourth prompt was a middle grade with something supernatural, and the middle grade section in Barnes & Noble is like this magical, wonderful place, and I was trying to find something, and you know, it's Christmas, the stores are busy and stuff, but I mean, let me just say, some people don't put on their best behaviors when they go into public places. And there was an adult woman in that section who was like, she kept walking in front of me. Like, I would move down to a different area and she'd walk in front of me. And then I'd move and she'd walk in front of me, and I was rolling my eyes. And so I saw a middle grade by Roshani Chachki, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to grab it for my supernatural pick because I know this author and it's probably going to be good and the cover's pretty, and let's just get away from this lady. So, The Spirit Glass. This is a Rick Riordan Presents. Most of the books that I've read that have been from this imprint, Rick Riordan Presents, have been pretty good. So this one is, it says, all her life, Corazon Lopez has been waiting for her 12th birthday, the day her magic might finally wake up and she can begin training as a Babalan under her Aunt Tina. With magic, Corazon plans to bring her parents back from the dead and no longer have to rely on a soul key to allow visits with their ghosts for a few hours every Saturday night. But when a vengeful ghost steals Corazon's precious key, the fragile balance between the human world and the spirit world is thrown out of whack. Aunt Tina reveals that if Corazon wants her magic to awaken, then she must lay the ghost to rest by fashioning a new soul key. With her rather bloodthirsty gecko companion, Sazo, I love that gecko companion, Corazon embarks on a quest through the spirit realms, but they must move quickly, for if the ghost gets through the spirit glass, all hope will be lost. During her journey, Corazon assists a water dragon, sails across the sea of stars, and even cooks for 3 mountain spirits. Along the way, she befriends Leo, a bespectacled ghost whose greatest ambition is to be a ghost writer. But there's more mystery waiting for Corazon. What's the story behind the spirit who stole her soul key? And what if the greatest act of love isn't holding on, but letting go? So this does sound interesting. It's not like your typical ghost story. Like, this is a kid who can communicate with the ghosts of her parents, and like, I don't know, what does that mean for her? It sounds very interesting, and as I said, I have read from this author before and enjoyed her work, so I am looking forward to picking this one up. For prompt number 5, I was taken in by sprayed edges. This was a realistic of any age between 200 to 400 pages, and Barnes & Noble had this cute exclusive edition with these darling sprayed edges on this book, The Do-Over. And I was like, yeah, I want this cute book. The synopsis also sounds pretty cute. It says, after living through a dumpster fire of a Valentine's Day, Emily Hornby escapes to her grandmother's house for some much-needed girl talk and companionship. There, Emily passes out on the couch, but when she wakes up, she's back home in her own bed. That's not the only shocker, though. Somehow it's Valentine's Day again, and the next day, another disaster V-Day. It seems that Emily is stuck in some sort of time loop nightmare that she can't wake up from, as she rewatches her boyfriend Josh cheat on her day after day. Ugh. In addition to Josh's recurring infidelity, Emily can't get away from the enigmatic Nick, whom she keeps running into, sometimes literally in unfortunate ways. How many days can one girl spend passively watching her life go up in flames when something good starts to come out of these terrible days? What happens when the universe stops doling out do-overs? So my prediction is Nick is going to be her actual true love, and she's going to have to do the day over again until she falls for him. But, you know, just a thought. Could be different. I don't know. And the 6th prompt was an adult book where romance had to be at least part of the story. And I went to Jenny Colgan's books because I love, love, love her books. They're all set in Scotland. She is Scottish. She writes the most cozy, warm, beautiful love stories, and like there are several that are sent around bookshops and things. So I mean, I just love her. I don't know why I can't come up with good words, but this is The Cafe by the Sea. And it says, years ago, Flora fled the quiet Scottish island where she grew up, and she hasn't looked back. What would she have done on Muir? It's a place where everyone has known all her life, where no one will let her forget the past. In bright, bustling London, she can be anonymous, ambitious, and hopelessly in love with her boss. Yet when fate brings Flora back to the island, she's suddenly swept once more into a life with her brothers, all strapping, loud, and seemingly incapable of basic housework, and her father. Yet even amid the chaos of their reunion, Flora discovers a passion for cooking and finds herself restoring a dusty little pink-fronted shop on the harbor, a cafe by the sea. But with the seasons changing, Flora must come to terms with past mistakes and work out exactly where her future lies. So this synopsis doesn't say specifically that there will be romance, but it did mention that she was in love with her boss. I am hoping that she's going to fall out of love with her boss, and that there's going to be some hunky Scottish guy there on the island that she falls for. Alright, so we filled all 6 prompts. Again, nobody's surprised here. And then I got 5 more books because I just kept shopping. I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm gonna bless myself. So the first one I got is Heartstopper Volume 5. So as I said, I do absolutely love this series. It is so cute and just lovely and sweet and romantic. And the Netflix series is pretty good too, so I highly recommend it. Up next, I got Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. This is going to fit a prompt on my oddly specific reading challenge that I need to finish before the end of December. But this one says, Lily has left a red notebook full of challenges on her favorite bookstore shelf, waiting for just the right guy to come along and accept its dares. Dash, in a bad mood during the holidays, happens to be the first guy to pick up the notebook and rise to its challenges. What follows is a whirlwind romance as Dash and Lily trade dares, dreams, and desires in the notebook they pass back and forth at locations all across New York City. But can their in-person selves possibly connect as well as their notebook versions, or will their scavenger hunt end in a comic mismatch of disastrous proportions? I wanted to listen to the audiobook of this one, and Libby, which is my like local library app, have books 2 and 3 in the Dash and Lily adventures or whatever, but not book 1. Why? That's weird. Anyway, I found this at Barnes & Noble, so we're in good shape. And then the next 3 were just books that I grabbed because they looked interesting and I'm like, you know what? I want to get them too. So another Christmassy one. This is Finding My Elf. And the tagline says, 2 boys, 12 days, 1 Christmas to remember. You made this a Christmas to remember. Springtime feelings in the middle of December. Beneath the mistletoe, I'll kiss you warm and tender. Whoa, whoa, what a Christmas to remember. Do you guys know that song? It was by the absolutely amazing Dolly Parton and the pretty okay Kenny Rogers. I just say that because no one can compare to Dolly. Anyway, let's talk about the book instead of singing so much. Escaping to NYU for college didn't turn out the way Cameron planned. He's flunking his theater classes, about to lose his scholarship, and he still hasn't found anyone who he can call his people. When he gets home for winter break, he's so desperate to avoid a conversation with his dad that he takes the first acting job he can as a Christmas elf. This is no normal holiday mall gig. The bougie Santaland is running a contest that allows shoppers to vote on their favorite elf. Cam is willing to deal with a supercharged game of the customer is always right, though, if that's what it takes to nab the cash prize. Ooh, okay. But the competition is fierce, especially from fellow elf Marco, who's everything Cam isn't. Christmas spirit oozes out of his pores. At first, Cam is determined to see him as nothing but a rival, but as they spend more time together, Cam starts to second-guess himself. And when he finds out the real reason Marco needs the money, he's torn. What if Cam doesn't actually want to go back to NYU? What if he's finally found his people here, in the fakest consumerist nightmare place on earth, where he least expected it? I have to read this other thing that's on the back. It's like a little piece of dialogue between these 2 characters. So you like nice guys? Marco nods approvingly, eyes gleaming. At least one, I say. All right, completely different direction for this one. We're going historical mystery, murder for the modern girl, Kendall Culpepper. We've got this gorgeous flapper girl on the cover. A ravishing young mind reader stalks the streets at night in kitten heels, prowling for men to murder. A soft-spoken genius toils away in the city morgue, desperate to unearth the science behind his gift for shape-shifting. It's a match made in 1928 Chicago, where gangsters run City Hall, jazz fills the air, and every good girl's purse conceals a flask. So, historical, murder, serial killer, shape-shifting. One of these things is not like the other, but it does sound really interesting. The last book that I got at Barnes & Noble is The Siren, the Song, and the Spy. This, I'm actually not going to read the blurb to myself. I grabbed it because it's the companion to The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea, which I haven't read yet. So I thought it would be good to just have them both together. And if you've read The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea, and you want to know more about this one, I'll let you look that up on your favorite book website. But you can see why I don't want to read the blurb. All right, after I left Barnes & Noble, I told you I was going to go into Target, and I said I wasn't going to buy any books. Well, that changed. Are you surprised? I'm not really surprised either. So, I picked up 2 books in the Target book section because, I just couldn't help myself. I live nowhere near bookstores, so when I'm in stores with books, I just have to look. So, we have a YA. Wish of the Wicked by Danielle Page. Now, Danielle Page is an author that I've really enjoyed in the past, and this is a fairy godmother novel. That's what it says up here. So I thought, okay, it's probably going to be a retelling, and sure enough, yes, it is. This says, for centuries, the Pharaoh's family, the Entente, served as magical advisors to the queen. Their wisdom and foresight kept the 13 queendoms in harmony. Until a new queen, Megret, takes power, outlaws magic, and executes the Entente. Only Pharaoh survives with her magic warped beyond repair. She can now use it only to fulfill the feeble wishes of commoners. Since that day, Pharaoh has dreamed of revenge. The one way to reach the queen is through her son, Prince Mather, who is nearing the age when he must select a bride. When a special ball in his honor is announced, Pharaoh sees her opportunity. All it will take is a young woman named Cinderella who dreams of true love. With one night, one chance to reclaim her magic and destroy the queen, Pharaoh will stop at nothing. So, this is a very evil, dark explanation of why the fairy godmother helped Cinderella get to the ball. Does it make me slightly worried? Yes. But do I also really, really want to read it? Also, yes. And this last one might surprise you. It surprised me. I'm still like, why did you buy this? I mean, let me just show you what it is. This is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and it is part of a series called Dreamland Billionaires. It is adult romance, which is not usually my jam at all. It usually has too much sexual content for me. But for some reason, like, this cover was just calling to me. Maybe it was because I had just looked at that Cinderella retelling and there's like this castle here, and then I read the synopsis, and I don't know, but it's here, and it's good for me to branch out into adult books every once in a while, just because I am an adult most of the time. Sometimes my mental state makes me wonder, but you know, let's read about this one. So we have two characters. Rowan. I'm in the business of creating fairy tales, theme parks, production companies, 5-star hotels. Everything could be all mine if I renovated Dreamland. My additional idea of hiring Zara was good in theory, but then I kissed her. Things spiraled out of control once I texted her using an alias. By the time I realized where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings, not when we're destined to ruin them. And then Zara says, after submitting a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch? I had to work for the most difficult boss I'd ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but my heart didn't care. At least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach the billionaire that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us. So I think, because there were 3 books in the same series all sitting together, and I was looking at all of them, and I just chose this one because I think, you know what, sometimes this is dangerous territory for me, the adult romance, so let's just get one. But if I really love it, I can always get the other ones. But I think that the other ones are different brothers in the same family, like Rowan's brothers. So I don't know. We'll find out if I like it or not. Okay. So that was a fun haul. I'm excited about the books that I got, and I hope you enjoyed coming with me on this journey. It is December 22nd as I film this, but this video is not going to come out till sometime in January because of schedule and stuff. So I hope that as you're watching this, you are having a great start to the new year, and that you had a nice holiday season. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.